wanted to come on here and chat because I had a revelation the other day. I'm currently on a weight loss journey and I have a certain goal in mind. And as I was kind of setting up my plan, I started thinking about how similar a weight loss journey is to any other category of success, like making more money, saving money, doing better in school, being a better parent, being a better spouse, so on and so forth. So I wanted to share that with you, but before I go on, I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Raven Burns Kushner. I am a fine artist and coach, and I'm obsessed and passionate about self-improvement. So I wanted to share 10 things that came to me as I was thinking about this, about my own weight loss journey. One of the things that I thought was interesting is that it's a lot simpler. Any kind of change is a lot simpler than we think. Like, the weight loss industry is so huge, so massive, so many programs that you can get into, so much time people spend thinking about losing weight, how to do it. There's so many books on it. And it's really actually extremely simple. Everyone knows that you just take in less energy than you expend. And if you do that consistently over a period of time, the amount of weight you're carrying will decrease. Okay, very simple. So that's number one. But number two, it's also a lot harder than we think it is. I think anyone who's ever attempted to lose weight for any reason, even if it's postpartum, because for me, that was the first time I ever had a weight issue. I'd always been underweight. But after I had children, people were like, oh, well, as soon as you start nursing, the weight will just fall off. My weight didn't fall anywhere other than onto my belly and hips. So that didn't work for me. So it was harder because our body gets used to a certain way of being, and our lifestyle gets used to a certain way of going. And that's across the board, whether you're doing any type of self-improvement, again, whether it's saving more money or getting a better career or whatever. We're used to life as it is. And so when people say stuff like, for example, relationships are so hard, or marriage is the hardest thing you'll ever do, it's funny because it's, again, going to number one, it's simple, but it's hard because what we naturally want to do or what we've grown accustomed to doing is not going to work. So to be in a happy relationship, for example, it's simple. Be nice to the person the way you were when they fell for you, right? Simple, not easy. Why not easy? Well, because life comes in and the default, if you haven't trained yourself, is to take it out on whoever's nearby or to revert to old habits you had before you were in a relationship that may have worked when you were single but don't work now that you're in a relationship. So same with weight loss. We're used to taking in a certain amount of food, a certain type of food. We have a lifetime of memories built up around certain types of food. We see other people eating types of food. So it's simple, number one. Number two, but it's hard, okay? The number three thing that I think weight loss has in common with other things is that I don't care what anybody says, no one can tell you how to do it. Now, that may sound funny because there are, again, like I said, so many programs out there to help you. You can pick any of them or none of them, and any of them will work if you do them, right? So it's not about just following somebody else's plan. You're the only one that really knows your own body, you know your own lifestyle, you know your own priorities, you know what's going on in your life, you know that your surroundings, the kind of people that you're around, whether you have children or not, you have other people that you have to consider, not just yourself. So even if somebody's in your exact same position, life position, like age, and they have kids, you have kids, they're married, you're married, whatever, they still can't tell you how to do it because everyone's got their own palate, their own allergies, their own preferences, and things that they don't like. So you have to be a big girl, big boy, and figure out for yourself how to do it. And that goes back to number two. That's hard because we want to just sort of follow orders and just magically have things happen. Kind of like when we were in school, you just, study what they tell you to study, take the test, boom, you get your grade. But that's not how most things in life are. In most things in life, you honestly have to go within and you have to figure out what works for you and only you, right? Number four is that, I believe this, you have to see it or else you will sabotage it. And what I mean by that is that you have to really see it for you, for yourself. And I don't mean fantasies, because we all have fantasies about riches and magic relationships and beautiful bodies and all these things. And we look on TV or movies and we have dreams of what it would be like to be in their position. And, everybody daydreams, and it's healthy and it's fun and there's no harm in it. But once you get serious about a goal, you have to really see it for yourself. One example I have of this is I've always been somebody that loves exercise ever since I was a kid, really, because I watched my parents do that. And that's an unfair advantage I had, is that I did have healthy parents that believed in healthy eating and exercise and things like that. So even though I have had those habits, there's certain things, like when I was trying to bodybuild, for example, because I was into that for a while, and my goal was to have visible muscle. I remember after a series of weeks of training hard and doing all this stuff, I once looked in the mirror and what I saw shocked me, because I was starting to see my goal come into fruition. And I had had my head down training so hard and just doing what I knew I needed to do, and didn't really stop to visualize what that muscular body is going to look like for me. So when I saw it, it felt so foreign to me, because I really wasn't looking in the mirror a lot, other than like my face. I really wasn't checking out the whole thing. And I realized that seeing that reflection of myself and being shocked at what was looking back at me made me kind of sabotage it. And so for a while, I kind of got off track. And I think what you have to do is see it for you, because I was always looking at bodybuilding magazines. I was always looking at fitness stuff. So I was used to seeing muscular bodies, but I think I wasn't used to seeing it on me. So I think you have to really see it. Like now, when I picture my end goal, I'm seeing me as I am, not a fantasy, not on the beach somewhere, but me in my house, at my computer, in my kitchen, as visualizing me as the goal weight that I have in my mind. And it's a lot more realistic. And that way, once I achieve the goal, it's not going to be a shock, and I'm not going to have any reason to sabotage it. Number five is that it's not your fault, but it is your problem. And what I mean by that is that society is not really set up for us to excel, okay? Society is set up for us to be mediocre. So when you want to do something like make a lot of money, or, excel in your career, or be an amazing parent or an amazing spouse, or be a healthy body weight and be actually fit and not, gasping for breath, walking up and down stairs, things like that. Society is really, made for us to be mediocre. So you could potentially do absolutely nothing and you will just by default become overweight. And that's why over half of American population is, because everything is so easy. Everything is sort of pushing us in that direction. The food that we have access to, we have delivery access. Most of the food is designed to be palatable, which means tons of sugar and fat. And obviously you can eat healthy, but if you want to eat healthy, you have to make an effort. I once heard somebody talking about, I think it was Dave Ramsey, about getting out of debt. He said, you can wander into debt, but you can't wander out. So similar to that, you can wander into obesity or overweight. You cannot wander into health. You have to intentionally, proactively become healthy. So it's not your fault. And a lot of people stop there. Well, it's not my fault. Well, I have these big genes, my, parents, grandparents, everybody's fat. Oh, well, I have this disease, I have this challenge, I have this thyroid, that thyroid, whatever it is. And I'm not saying that those are not real. Those are real. So it's not your fault that you've gained weight. Our society, again, is meant for that because that's how they sell you diet pills and all these things. So yes, it's not your fault that you're in this situation where you feel like you have gotten out of shape, but it is your problem. It's not going to serve you to point the finger at somebody else because frankly, they don't care, right? This is your body. So number 6 is that it's an identity. And that kind of goes back to what I was saying about the visualization. It has to become something that just is you. A lot of people approach dieting as like, I'm a big girl who needs to lose weight, or I'm flabby and so I need to lose weight, or I'm trying to lose weight, or I'm going to try again to lose weight. If you're thinking of it that way, it's distant from you. It's here's me and here's this thing that I want. It's way over there, but I'm going to do my darndest and I'm going to try to become somebody else. And a lot harder thing to do, but a lot more effective thing to do is to take it on as an identity now. So you're not somebody who's trying to lose weight. You're not trying to do anything. You're adopting a healthy lifestyle because it's important to you. It's important to you to be around for your kids. It's important to you to be independent as you get older. It's important to you to live your best life, to have mental clarity, and to go to your doctor for your physical and get flying results, all your blood work coming in good. Like, now that that's important to you, that's your identity. You're not trying to do anything. This is who you are, and these are the changes that you've decided to make in line with that new identity. And that goes for any kind of change you're trying to make. You can't be a broke person trying to make some money, because again, you're seeing people that have money as somehow foreign or some kind of different species from you. It's like, no, you're learning healthy habits. You're learning to deal responsibly with your money. You're practicing saving. You're practicing investing. This is you now. This is not something that you're trying to do. So number 7 is that you have to make it less boring, okay? Because let's be frank, making changes is very exciting in the beginning. And it's like, woohoo, you get whatever, your new journal or your new running shoes or, your new app or whatever. And it's very exciting because the motivation is high, energy is high. But it's sort of like a good movie or a good book that starts off really good and then it gets really, really dry in the middle. And you're like really trying to hang in there to get to the end because you know it's going to be good, but man, it's a slog through the middle. That's how it is with any kind of change. So weight loss is boring. So, it's fun at first because it's new, but as you start to get hungry, back to, number 2, it's harder than you think. Once you start to get hungry, that's when it gets real. And that's when it's not fun. And that's when people start to invite you out to dinner and out to birthday parties and try to hand you cake and pastries and things like that. Or you see commercials and all of a sudden you start questioning, like, why did I want to do this again? Like, this is not as exciting as it was when I first downloaded that app, So you got to do stuff to make, because you just have to accept that it is boring. I think a lot of people are surprised that it gets boring and they just quit. They're like, oh, well, like this just isn't for me. It's not that. It's that it's designed to be boring because it's supposed to just be your lifestyle. So it's really not supposed to be exciting. Just like your old habits were not exciting. That just was your life. So this is all new. So you have to do things to make it more exciting. So for me, I made myself the goal that when I hit my goal weight, I'm going to get my hair braided. I'm excited about getting my hair braided, or I might get a wig. I'm not sure which one, but something new and different. Because that way, when I start getting bored, or when I start thinking like, is this really what I want to do? And by the way, I understand that I'm not overweight, but I do have more body fat on my body than I would like. And so I am going to lose it. Okay. So when I get to that goal, I'm going to get my hair done in some sort of way, and it's going to be awesome. But that way, whenever I get bored, whenever I get irritated, or whenever I lose focus, I think about that, and then I get happy and I get a smile on my face. So you got to make it less boring. The next thing is that your why has to be good, okay? Everyone always says, I've always heard like coaches and stuff say that you have to have your why, you have to have your why. But they just sort of stop there. It's like, it's not enough to have a why. We all have a why, that's why we started in the first place, but it's got to be a good one. Right? Sometimes our why is not good enough. I remember being in the spiritual center that I was in, and it was all about learning the law of attraction and practicing the law of attraction. And I remember this one girl was saying like she was getting really frustrated because she just was just losing her motivation. So I started talking with her, and I've kind of always been a natural coach, so this is before I was a coach. But I started talking with her, and long story short, she had made a goal that she didn't really care about. So people were, they're always telling us, oh, imagine your dream car, imagine your dream home. And we all have a dream home or a dream car, and she had one. But the thing is, she didn't care that much about it, right? So yes, it's a dream. Yes, it would be nice. But when you're trying to do something that's hard, being nice or being like, wouldn't that be sweet? Or wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be lovely? That's not good enough. It's got to be like, this is what I want so bad that I can't think about anything else. Like, it's got to be like that. And when I'm working with people, that's really important that I got to sense that from them, because if I don't, I'm kind of wasting their time and my time, and I won't take their money because they're not going to succeed because they don't care, right? So sometimes there's just other priorities that are more important to you than the goal you think you want. And that's okay. But you have to be honest with yourself and straight with yourself and just be like, I don't really care about this goal that much. I remember this other influencer, I forgot her name, but she was saying that yeah, she wanted to lose weight, but it wasn't until her mother got diabetes, a diagnosis of diabetes, that she got scared. And that was enough to motivate her to do something. For some people, it may be an insult. For some people, it may be a positive motivation. Like for me, it's a positive motivation. For me, my goal was, my tastes have started elevating as I've been elevating in other areas of my life. And the kind of clothes that I am starting to like and want, they look better on people that don't have excess body fat. Okay, so that can sound frivolous. I don't care. That's my why. And for me, that's a why that's good enough. I'm not actually worried about diabetes because I don't have it in my family, and I've had my physicals, and I don't have that. So my motivation is something else. So find your own why and make sure you really want it. It's got to be a good why, not just any old why. Okay. Number 9 is that you got to keep quiet about it, right? So a lot of times people will see you changing, and just like I was saying that if you can't really see it, you might sabotage it. That goes double for people around you. Like, they see you the way you are. So when you start making changes and they start seeing that you're making different choices, you're going to different places, you're saying no to certain things, that starts to make people feel nervous because they see you the way they've always seen you. And so they're going to sabotage, not all, well, sometimes yes, on purpose, but most of the time it's instinctive. They're just noticing that the way they always have seen you is starting to shift, and they don't want that, right? So they're going to put roadblocks in your way. And so it's best for you to just not say anything about it. If somebody notices that you have, chosen a salad over, whatever it is, a double fat burger, whatever, just tell them that, I don't know, I'm just craving a salad. I don't know, just like blow it up. People don't care that much, right? So if you give them some sort of, answer that they can digest, usually they'll leave it at that. But it's better not to really say the whole thing because they're going to pick it apart because they just can't help themselves, right? And lastly, number 10 is that you need support. You and me, and we cannot do anything hard by ourselves. We have to have something. I don't care if you just follow somebody on YouTube. That's what I do. follow people on YouTube. I read books. I do things that sort of reinforce what I'm trying to do. Even like the fiction that I read, it'll be fiction of people who are slim and living the rich life and wearing designer clothes, because that's what I want, right? So even in my leisure time, I'm kind of reinforcing what it is that I'm going for so that it's always in front of me. Because that's really the thing that gets us sometimes. Even when we have our best intentions, sometimes we just go astray because it's not in front of us. So until it's really a lifestyle, we have to put it in front of us at all times. So the best way to do that is to have other people that are also doing the same thing. So either somebody you watch, a coach, so like someone like me, like you're working with, that you know you're going to be accountable to. It can be your friends, pick people that are going where you're going, not people that are doing your old habits. It could be like Weight Watchers. That's one of the reasons why that program is so successful is really not the food, because the food is not great, right? It's the camaraderie. It's just you have some place to go at a certain time and everybody is doing the same thing. Everybody has the same goal and the same struggles. So that's very helpful. So anyway, that's my 10. So I hope this chat was interesting and I hope that it was helpful in some way. Check out my website to look at my art. I'm all about aesthetics. I'm all about personal growth. If you ever interested in coaching and you want some support and some accountability, check out the page on my website that talks about the coaching and has the testimonials and all that good stuff. So until next time, have a beautiful week and I will see you then. Bye-bye.